welcome to my new channel Swarna Legal Academy. Okay, here you will get all types of law subjects tutorials. Okay, and here you will get the subjects like Indian Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code, Civil Procedure Code, Constitution, and law related all the subjects tutorial. Okay, so it will helpful for your all law related exams like clerk exam, judicial exam, and LLB semester exam, and also UGC NET exam. So today we will start one topic, Indian Penal Code introduction and chapter 1. Chapter 1 it contains from section 1 to section 5. So Indian Penal Code 1860. I am going to start introduction. IPC came into force on 1st January 1862. The Indian Penal Code first came into force on 1st January 1862, but it is written as Indian Penal Code 1860, but it came into force on 1st January 1862. So in exams, the question is coming, when IPC came into force. So you people have to write there 1st January 1862. Second, it was drafted on the chairmanship of Lord Macaulay. That time there was a British rule. So, the chairman was that time Lord Macaulay. He was drafted Indian Penal Code. So, it was drafted on the chairmanship of Lord Macaulay. It is a branch of public law. Laws branches are like two types. One is public law, another is personal law. So, Indian Penal Code is a public law. It is a substantive law. Law is like two types, substantive law and procedural law. Indian Penal Code is substantive law because here the people who is doing the offense, he will get the punishment. So it is substantive law. It defines the right of a person. But procedural law, they only written what is the procedure to follow for a punishment or for an offense. Suppose somebody has committed theft, so that person on which procedure that person will get punishment, they are written in the procedural law. So it is a substantive law. Here it is written the punishment of the offense. It defines the crime and its punishment. So substantive law, it defines the crime and its punishment. What type of crime he has done and what punishment he will get. So it is a substantive law and it is a crime and he will get the punishment. IPC divided into 23 chapters comprises of 511 sections. So IPC Indian Penal Code divided into 23 chapters and whole chapters comprises of 511 sections. It states about criminal liability for an illegal act and omission. Suppose a person doing an illegal act. Illegal act means which is punishable by law. Suppose a person doing a criminal act, so he is liability for that criminal act. For an illegal act and omission, he will get the punishment. The term crime denotes an unlawful act is punishable by state. Suppose a person doing an offense which is an unlawful act, he must be punishable by state. Incidents of crime hurts not only the individual but also the state. Therefore, such acts are forbidden and punishable by law. Suppose a person doing crime, it is not hurt to an individual, it is hurt to the whole state. So, therefore, such acts are forbidden and punishable by law. So, some person is doing crime, it is not individually hurt, it is hurt to the whole state. Suppose a person commit a murder. Suppose a person doing a murder, so that is not for individual hurt. It is a hurt to whole state. Therefore, such acts are forbidden and punishable by law. So, murder, that is an offense which is forbidden by law, and also if somebody commit the murder, he must be punishable by law. So, over the introduction, now we will go to the chapters. Chapter 1. Section 1 to 5. Section 1 of IPC says, it is applicable to whole of India except state of Jammu and Kashmir. In state of Jammu and Kashmir, another code, Ranbir Penal Code, is in existence. So section 1 of IPC explains it is applicable to whole of India except state of Jammu and Kashmir. Section 1 will apply to whole of India but not to the Jammu and Kashmir. In state of Jammu and Kashmir, another penal code, that is Ranbir Penal Code, is in existence. So they follow the penal code is Ranbir Penal Code, not to the Indian Penal Code. But whole of India, they will follow Indian Penal Code. Now section 2. Punishment for offences committed within India. This provision refers to intra-territorial operation of the code. Punishment for offences committed within India. If somebody is doing or committing some offence within India, he must get punishment. Section 2 what explains? If a person committing any offence, he must be punished, he must get the punishment within India. This provision refers to intra-territorial operation of the code. Intra-territorial operation means inside the territory of India, inside the territory of our country. If anybody doing any offence, he must get the punishment. The expression every person includes Indian citizen as well as foreigners. No distinction has been made of nationality, rank, caste, creed or gender of the person committing crime. The expression every person means what? Either he is a Indian national or he is any other national, any foreign national also. If he is committing any offence, he must get punishment inside India according to Indian Penal Code. So, no distinction has been made of nationality, rank, caste, creed or gender of the person. Whatever be that person's rank or caste or religion, or he may be a gender, he may be a female or male. If he is committing crime, he must get punishment according to Indian Penal Code. A foreign national committing an offence within India will be punished in India. Suppose a foreigner coming to India and he is doing an offence within India, he must be punished in India according to the Indian Penal Code. Here one case law is there, Mubarak Ali versus State of Mumbai. The case law explains a national of Pakistan made certain false representation from Karachi by letters, telegrams and telephone to the complainant at Mumbai that he had ready of good quality of rice and would be sell rice as soon as he received money from him. The complainant sent money but received no rice. Here the case law explains a national of Pakistan. His name is Mubarak Ali, national of Pakistan, made certain false representation from Karachi. He was staying in Karachi and he has done a false representation to the person who was staying in Bombay that he had ready of good quality of rice. That Mr. Mubarak Ali is having good quality of rice and he will sell rice as soon as he received money from him. The complainant, if pay the amount, so he will receive the rice as soon as possible. But the complainant sent money but received no rice. The complainant from Mumbai sent money but received no rice. So, Mubarak Ali, he will be punished according to the Indian Penal Code because he has done some false representation to the complainant. It is coming under section 2. Now we will go to section 3. Section 3 what explains? Punishment for offences committed beyond India but by law tried in India. Any person liable by an Indian law for an offence committed beyond India shall be dealt with as if committed in India. Punishment for offences committed beyond India but by law tried in India. Suppose a person, he was an Indian national and he is committing any offence beyond India, outside India. So that person will brought to India and he will be get punishment according to the Indian Penal Code. Any person liable by an Indian law for an offence committed beyond India shall be dealt with as if committed in India. So that person, if he is committed the offence inside India, what punishment he will get in India according to the Indian Penal Code? Same if he is doing the offence outside India, beyond India, the same punishment he will get according to Indian Penal Code after brought that person to India. Section 188 of CRPC grants jurisdiction to local courts to take cognizance of offence committed beyond India by virtue of Section 3 and 4 of IPC. So, the Section 188 of CRPC grants jurisdiction to local courts. So, CRPC provides or grants jurisdiction to local courts to take cognizance of offences committed beyond India. Suppose the person committing any offence beyond India, that person will brought to inside India, and the CRPC according to Section 188 grants jurisdiction to local courts to take cognizance of that person which he has done the offence beyond India. And this sections is coming under Section 3 and 4 of IPC. That person will be liable in India at any place where he is found. So that person will be liable for punishment wherever he is found inside India. Now we will go to Section 4. Section 4 what says? The provision of this code apply also to any offences committed by any citizen of India in any place without and beyond India. Here also what explains? Any citizen of India in any place without and beyond India. Suppose he is doing any offence inside India or beyond India, outside India, he must be, this code section 4 must be applied for that offence. He must be get punishment in India according to Indian Penal Code. Any citizen of India in any place without and beyond India, if he is committing any offence, he must be punished according to Indian Penal Code inside India. And Section 4, second point, it explains any person in any ship or aircraft registered in India wherever it may be. Suppose any ship or aircraft registered in India, and that aircraft or ship is outside India. I mean, suppose our aircraft or ship is in near to America or such other country, wherever it may be outside India. Suppose any citizen of India committing any offence inside that aircraft or ship, either Indian citizen or any other citizens like other national like American or Chinese, any person on that ship or aircraft registered in India, if he is committing any offence, he must be punished according to IPC. So that person will brought to India and he will get punishment according to Indian Penal Code. Any person in any place without and beyond India committing offence, the point 3 explains any person in any place without and beyond India committing offences targeting a computer resources located in India. Here it explains any person in any place. Suppose that person is either in India or outside India committing offences targeting a computer resource located in India. Suppose the computer resource is inside India and the person is staying in China and he is doing any hack or any virus to our computer resources, that person will brought to India and he will get punishment according to Indian Penal Code.